And you know, whenever you join me on stage, we need to do that too. So it's just like this. These hands like that. Bonita,
Not really.
Can you put a spotlight on Bruno for me? Because Bruno has got to do this. Bruno, this is our tradition.
I've got to do what?
Do the dance.
So to the left.
Bruno.
Right.
So,
To the
what
left.
part?
I'll say it something like this. All right, let's go.
Oh, you can do
I'm loving you guys already. Welcome.
that.
How
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
It's been a year full of challenges, but let's go back to last year. You guys are amazing. You are amazing, just super brilliant. Tell me, let's chronicle the journey from last year to now. How has it been? How has life been? Business, everything. We want to know.
Okay, I think, of course, the world is changing. I think the event space and your wedding space, I think that's going to look quite different. I think now is the time really to have your small, intimate wedding. So I think it's a good thing that we're on this fantastic platform to talk about your smaller, luxury, intimate weddings, which actually has been a trend over the last few years.
Exactly.
In comparison to what we previously had, where you had your big lavish weddings of 1,000 people. Now people are sort of looking at a destination wedding and looking at, having a smaller capacity rather than having a larger group of people.
Oh,
Yes,
great.
definitely.
How are you?
Yeah.
Bruno?
Yeah, I think the COVID has accelerated things for us here in Rwanda because we're not used to this kind of wedding, destination wedding, something totally new, intimate. And we have so many locations, beautiful places to host all these lavish weddings. So we're here to make it fun, make it unique, create memories, and yes. And that's the future from now on.
Wow. That is the new normal. I mean, that has been the statement, conversation we've all been having, the new normal. But then before we come to what we are discussing today, I want people to know about the East African Wedding Show. Last year, you played a role. Bonita, you played an amazing role and contributed to the success of the East African Wedding Show. I saw the stuff that Bruno did, and it was super, super to the different level, to be honest with you guys. I want us to do a throwback to last year. For you, Bonita, what was so memorable about last year for you?
I think the entire event, I think honestly, you cannot. I mean, I know we're doing virtual, this is a virtual show, but I think physical is incredibly important, especially when you are, as a bride, wanting to meet your vendor, wanting to be able to interact with them and just have that personal experience. So I hope that next year we shall be able to have a physical event rather than having a virtual. So I think for me, that was the most important thing, meeting all the brides that were there, just getting to talk to them, getting to understand what their needs are, talking to them about trends. So I think it was quite good to actually be in a space where you were able to meet brides to be.
Yes.
I don't know what you think, Bruno.
For me, it was because we're used to do our own thing in our own little corner. And for once, all the people gathered like in the same spot, not only Rwanda, but from East Africa, Uganda, Kenya, and also from Nigeria. For me, discovering the Nigerian haute couture was a first. And I think it was the best place and to discover that, and it was amazing. And I was so looking forward to this new edition. But we're going to keep it, going crescendo from now on.
Wow. And I mean, admittedly, things have changed. And there are various stakeholders, this conversation about where next for weddings. What is the next thing for even social gatherings? I know government agencies, officials, everything, think tanks have come together to see the best way we can still have social events. Now, let's look at the new normal. Everybody's talking about intimate weddings. Intimate.
Yeah.
I want you guys to clarify. what at all is intimate wedding? Before we come to even the luxury aspect of it, I want us to take it at a time so that people can follow our conversation. What is intimate wedding? Why has it come to stay? Basically, I mean, has it got to do with the number of people at the wedding, or is the number the main determinant? That's what I want to know. What is the intimate wedding?
Okay, so I think for me, especially speaking and working with brides over the last couple of years, because we do have and have had this sort of smaller intimate weddings at our properties, at our resorts. And the key thing for them is really the closeness. So it's not really about cutting down on the number. It's, does this person mean something to me? Are they, someone special that's been in my life, a friend that I've had for 10 years or over 20 years? Is it, my father, my brother? So it's really more about the closeness. And I think what happens is people feel that they lose, they kind of lose themselves in their personality with a much bigger wedding, because with the grandeur of a wedding, it's so ostentatious and it's huge. Mm-hmm. You find that people feel that they're actually losing that sort of personal feel. They're not able to say thank you to somebody that traveled, I don't know how many miles from the US just to come to Rwanda to see them. So it's just making sure that they have this close, sort of closeness with their guests, which is quite important. One thing that I find that you do lose as well is the quality of, the food perhaps as well, because, you're making it at a more massive scale, and now you want to make it, you want your guests to actually enjoy their meal, have a 6-course meal that's done properly. You want to make sure that you're catering to their dietary requirement, they're gluten-free, and you're able to give them that fantastic meal that caters to them. So I think that's quite important. It's not really about cutting down on numbers. I think it's about quality of what each and every guest who means a lot to you actually gets from the wedding. So I think that's what it is for me, and that's what brides have been talking about. Bruno, perhaps you can share something.
Yes, for me, when small weddings, it means intimate weddings means attention to details. When you have bigger weddings, it's more difficult to focus. Like talking from a designer perspective, it's very difficult to go into the details for a bigger wedding. But when it's a smaller one, then you can put your really everything at heart and deliver the very best, and even go wild with a concept. Something that can be very difficult for 1,000+ wedding. Of course, you could still do that, but when it's smaller, when you create an experience for the guests, when also the bride and the couple gets also to share that with their guests, it's even better. Because usually in a bigger wedding, sometimes you don't even get to see or chat with your guests. So for me, smaller is better because for the reasons I just stated. For Rwanda, especially here in Rwanda, it was going to be a little bit of a challenge. But I think we're getting through it. People are starting to understand. They're starting to change. Understanding also that you cannot have everybody that you've met in your whole life at your wedding. It doesn't make any sense.
And I think a key thing is, people that are younger are making their own money now, so they can make their own decisions. Exactly. So their parents are not telling them where to get married. So I think that's certainly helped. And people sort of want to have their wedding and honeymoon combined as well. So they're then sort of saying, a bunch of friends, all of you, let's go to, the coast of Kenya, have a smaller intimate wedding, and then have a holiday as well. So I think now, because you're finding that people that are younger are making their own money and have their own money, they can make these decisions without the family kind of wanting to, sort of interfere.
Mm.
Right, so you just come again, Bruno?
You have the upper hand. Well, you also.
So you exercise full control. So if you just join us, ladies and gentlemen, we are. This is the virtual East African wedding show, and we're having a session with Bruno and Bonita on intimate luxury wedding. I've seen one question already in the discuss chat box. So if you do have some questions or comments about what Bruno and Bonita are saying, please make sure that you put them in the discussion box, and I'll read it out. And so there's a question here, but I'll relate that to the next question I want to ask. So what I want us to, the objective of opening up this conversation is for people to understand, because for most people out there, they have heard intimate wedding. People are thinking maybe COVID brought out intimate wedding, or has it been in existence for long? there are a lot of questions? Or is it that we were getting there gradually? Because I know in the past, before the coming of the gram, it was more intimate. Now, gram, social media tools, and a whole lot of things shut everything up. And so now everybody wants to come out to when it's easier to pass on invitation. Did you ever see this coming? That we'll get to a point where we will go back to where it all started from and get more intimate about weddings?
I think this has been a trend. So I think over the last few years, we've seen people that are doing that. It's something that has been, and by the way, just so you know, an intimate wedding does not mean that they're cutting down on costs necessarily. The key thing is they want a quality wedding. They want each and every one of their guests to enjoy their wedding thoroughly, and then also have that holiday destination as well. So that actually, for the past 10 years, I think has been quite a huge trend. And I certainly think that's here to stay. And you've got to remember now, as I said earlier, people that are getting married are sort of, we used to get married much younger. People used to get married in Africa at 24 or 25. And now you find people getting married later. They have their own money. They can make the decision about where they want to go. And that's what they want to do. They want a holiday and a wedding at the same time. So it's something that's been happening over the last 10 years. And people want that unique destination. So you find Africa, of course, has been one of the destinations where you find, so you have Rwanda, where we have, and I'll talk about our resorts. And then you also have places like Kenya, Tanzania, and Zanzibar. So people are going to this destination. East Africa has been quite huge, actually, for your intimate weddings. So I certainly feel that's been a trend. It's here to stay. And I think you certainly see more people wanting to go for a smaller wedding. And I think, of course, COVID, I think for some reason, I think COVID has also...
some accelerator.
Yeah, accelerated it. I think for most Rwandans, perhaps they would rather a bigger wedding. But now, you're quite happy that you're going to have a much smaller wedding, quality wedding, have people that you love actually there. So,
Less hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
it was a trend. Like Bonita said, it was a trend. We saw it coming, and last year already we had a few requests. We've already had an opportunity to do together at One&Only Nyungu House. We've also had other people approach us to discuss about a possible concept for a small wedding for about less than 50 people, and it's been, I think it's here to stay long term. Maybe here in Rwanda, people needed something to change, to shift the paradigms, and the COVID has been it.
Yeah.
All right. So the positives about COVID, I was telling our participants that we shouldn't only look at all of the negatives and the shutdowns when it comes to COVID, but it has also brought in some positives, and I'm happy that you are talking about this. One more question for you, Bruno. I want to find out, just before we go. So we're just doing the introduction and to understand an open topic so that people have an open mind and would appreciate what we are having, the conversation that we are having. Cultural setting in Africa, marriage is between two families, not even individuals. In most settings, it's between two families. Hence, the explanation for the large numbers. So you have lots and lots of families. An uncle you haven't heard from in 20 years will suddenly pop up at your wedding, right? This uncle, is he still alive? That kind of a thing. Now, do you think that this had a role to play in getting intimate weddings, especially our cultural setting? And do you see any challenge coming from this?
I think culture-wise, here in Rwanda, the pressure is it's general in Africa. We feel that we owe all the respect to the elders. We need to share those important things happening to us in our lives, whether it's a birth, or it's a wedding, or a graduation. We always feel like we have to share with the family, which is absolutely normal. But now our families have also grown big and scattered all around the world. And also our parents are the elders now, and they're in a position where they can understand, not just insist on saying we must have the gigantic wedding, but for X, Y reason, you can explain and maybe find a common ground. You can do that small wedding, maybe intimate, like we said, and later on get to share it with your friends, and there are other friends as well. but through something smaller. But the wedding must be something personal. And I believe now minds have changed and they're able to understand. So it shouldn't cause that a big problem, I think, personally.
Bonita, you keep, thank you very much, Bruno. Bonita, you keep saying we are now going to have smaller and smaller and intimate, smaller. There's a question here from Melissa Ngabo. Melissa is asking that, can you still have a big but intimate wedding?
That's interesting. I think intimate means, when one says intimate, that would certainly be talking about the quantity of the people. So that would definitely mean it would be a smaller wedding. Perhaps she means more personalized. I think, Melissa, is that what you meant? You can have a big girl wedding, and that's personalized. So you sort of have special things that guests are able to sort of take with them, that will
special attention to each guest.
Yeah, attention to detail and that sort of thing. But I think that will come at a huge cost. I think whereas I mean that the cost will be out of the roof. Yeah. So I think with your intimate weddings, you can still be able to make sure that each and every one of your guests is having a good time, has a glass of, a good glass of champagne rather than a prosecco, is able to get their 6-course meal, is able to sort of, interact
around
the table. So I think it's really more about how you interact. I think that's a really good point. Interaction with everybody. I think that's quite key. So I think when we mean intimate, it certainly has to be smaller. Yeah. When we say intimate, it should be a smaller group of people rather than having, your thousands of people.
Think of it as like a banquet opposed to a family dinner around the table.
Exactly.
Because when you're sitting with your family and friends around the table, you get to interact with each and every one. It's a different ambiance, a different mood. Mm-hmm. But when it's a banquet, well, you just have the person next to you. Sometimes you don't like that person.
You don't even know
them.
Yeah, exactly.
So which can make also the wedding a bit, it's a long day. We ate great food, great champagne. But something was missing. The intimate part was missing. There was no interaction. Sorry. Oh,
but do you?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you not face alienation from friends, colleagues? So, for instance, where I went to school, in my class alone, graduating from secondary school, in my year badge alone, we were about 1,400 friends in my year badge. And I know about half of them. Now you go to the university, you meet a lot of people. You naturally will get yourself familiar with lots of people. It changes. You go at your workplace, you get engaged with other stakeholders. You are getting married, and all of a sudden, everybody wants to be on board. I've seen a lot of people being completely ostracized from their public circle or from their social circle simply because they did a wedding and they didn't invite other people. And so people get offended. That is the situation we have here. I want us to look at all the possible challenges before we now narrow in on the benefits of intimate luxury weddings. And that's why I'm throwing in all these questions. So I'm just thinking like any other ordinary person who's saying, okay, this idea of intimate, I'm still not getting it. There are a lot of questions going on through my friends will think that I've been very selective. So I chose this person over that person. And are we not likely?
Drama.
Exactly. Are we not likely? So don't you think that probably you can do a mass one for them, shares, giveaways, people just go, and then later on, I don't know what you guys think about it. It's just a genuine concern or feedback that people face all the time.
But, can I start? I think it's a new concept also. It's something new it's new for everyone. But like I said earlier, the intimate part doesn't mean that you cannot share with your friends later on with something else, something that's less wedding-like. It can be like a gala or like a get-together. So that's opened up also new possibilities, new business opportunities as well.
But I think one thing that's quite key is in Rwanda, with our traditionalists, I say go big. Do you know what I mean? With our tradition, because we have the traditional wedding and then we'll have the church wedding. And honestly, I think with the traditional, you can go big, invite everybody that you want to invite, and then for your church wedding and the reception, have a much smaller get-together.
All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that I've answered most of your questions. I've seen that people are throwing in a lot of questions before we get into the intimate. We haven't even started talking about the intimate luxury weddings. We're just opening up. So people are really interested. So Melissa again is asking, is it also possible to have close people physically at your wedding and do a virtual wedding for other friends? Or better yet, people that can't travel to your wedding and still attain your intimate objective?
So I've seen the virtual weddings. I must say I'm not a fan. I know it's happening now because, and the reason why it's happening is, of course, we're in a pandemic. You're not able, I mean, some people are physically not able to travel. I mean, there are travel bans in all sorts of countries, so people aren't able to travel. But for me, I'd rather I have my best friends and my close friends be there with me. We can sort of socially distance. But I think it's better to kind of, I mean, you're not going to, somebody sitting in their home in, let's say, for example, Ghana, is not going to understand and feel what a Rwandan wedding is like when we're having it. Do you know what I mean? I think it's not anything that you could see on video and understand it. You got to be there, be around the people, feel it's you got to taste the food, you got to understand it. So I think for me, a virtual wedding, I think it's happening now definitely because of
XY, yeah.
Because of we're in a pandemic, people can't physically travel, borders are still closed. But then when we do open up, you should certainly have your physical wedding.
Yeah, definitely. Because I feel like doing a virtual wedding with few people and putting on the social media or on Zoom, whatever, it's like throwing it in their faces. Like, you're not here, you're not selected. That will create a more drama. Unless it's just for two people sharing it with their friends, then everybody's on the same level. But you cannot pick a few and then start falling in front of others. Yeah.
But a wedding is the ultimate celebration. Yes. So you should be able to clink your glass of champagne with your friend or clink your glass of champagne with your parents. So I think it's important that there's that physical element, 100%.
So now it's very obvious, and we've all come to the agreement that intimate weddings have come to stay. And obviously, this is just the introduction, and I want to say a big thank you to Bruno and Bonita. Already, they've done a very good job in opening our minds to appreciate this new normal. It's actually been long in coming. So now let's narrow down. Tell me, what are the real benefits of having intimate weddings? I've come to appreciate what you said. I now understand that, now this thing is a possibility. We can actually do something called intimate. Now let us know, put it in our faces. What are the benefits of doing intimate luxury weddings?
Do you want to go first?
Okay. So for me, I've been here in Rwanda now, working in Rwanda professionally for the last 3 years. It was a different ambience, a different state. The approach of a wedding was something different. It's like almost you go to a wedding planner and then you get to pick things, and they're already chosen for you. So you don't even get a sense. You can maybe choose a color, the location, there are maybe a couple, there are maybe 5 or 6, and that's it. So the intimate weddings also offer you that possibility to really start like afresh, approach the wedding from a different angle, put in experiences. It shouldn't maybe last one day. You can have it spread over 3 days, with maybe the highlight being the wedding itself, but also sharing other activities with your friends and family. It's like a bonding moment. So that's the advantage of the intimate wedding over the big traditional wedding.
I think for me, because I've been to quite a few intimate weddings, I think they're always quite special. And as I've said, most people will sort of invite you to a wedding and then you can always have a holiday together afterwards, with the couple actually having their honeymoon in that destination, especially if it's a destination wedding. So they're then having the honeymoon after, but then the joy of the honeymoon is you still have your friends there with you. So let's say you're in the middle of a safari, you can all do a safari together. And there's it's a kind of a once in a lifetime moment that will literally be unforgettable. It's something that no guest of yours will forget. Mm-hmm. I think as well, the quality, I think you're allowed to be more personalized. You're able to actually give a gift to each wedding guest that actually has a meaning, because they've traveled far and wide to come and see you at your at the wedding. So I think it's important. It's incredibly important for you to be personalized. I think for people to actually feel, and I think one thing that he said is bonding. I think rather than just having a big party, you're still able to have this intimate conversations during the dinner, at the after party, still be able to have something small and just nice gathering where you feel comfortable with each person. You can be yourself as well. I find with big weddings, it's kind of you're walking in, it's very glam and you're very stiff because you don't want people to talk about you, anything about you. If you dance in a certain way, there's somebody in the corner judging. At an intimate wedding, guess what? All of that goes out the window. You're there to have a party, you're there to have a good time, you're there to have quality food. As a bride and groom, you're able to actually speak with each and every one of the guests, give them a nice little gift and a thank you for coming. I think for me, it's incredibly important to understand that it's very personalized, so you're not losing that, which you can easily lose with a big wedding. So I think that really is a key thing. And I think the bonding is something incredibly important. Yeah.
And also there's less. I think what we offer with One and Only in our services is also to be able to give a clear mind to our clients, so they don't have to worry about anything. Yeah. We are in control from A to Z, like from the very beginning. Yeah. They're just there as almost like guests to enjoy, and they go from surprise to surprise.
That is such a good point.
And we always add something extra that they're not expecting necessarily.
Yeah.
So it keeps them going and also enjoying, discovering at the same time as the guests.
With a bigger wedding, guess what? More stress, more vendors, more suppliers, more people letting you down. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of the behind the scenes. I'm sure most of you, people who have got married or people that are wanting to get married know when you are planning, the planning stage is exhausting. And as a bride, guess what? You want to look your best. You don't want to be stressed. You want to walk in with a beautiful face. Mm-hmm. And it's important to just be able to be relaxed. And I think that's what an intimate wedding offers you as well.
So both of you are suggesting that intimate weddings are less stressful.
Yes. 100%.
Wow. Less stressful. I mean, nobody wants to go through stress. If I have a very less stressful option, why not? And I'll get results. Why don't I? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are talking about. We are talking about the intimate luxury weddings. They are less stressful. You have the opportunity to have a greater time, so the output is better. You can involve your guests there more and all of these. Thank you very much. So that's Bruno and Bonita. So now let's talk about what we have to offer in the region. Let's start from where we have. I call it the host nation for the East African Wedding Show, Rwanda. Let's start from that end. Now, what do we have to offer when it comes to intimate luxury weddings? What are some things, the places, the scenery, the environment, the vendors? Let's talk about that so that people will know where they can channel their efforts.
Okay, so I will talk about the One&Only Resorts because I'm the director of sales for the properties. So we have 2 resorts based in Rwanda. One of them is in Volcanoes National Park, which is has stunning views of the Virunga volcanoes. You literally, you kind of in your own little dream. It's like a Garden of Eden sort of thing. So the property is literally like the location is like a Garden of Eden. That's One&Only Gorillas Nest. And then we have another property called One&Only Nyungwe House, which is right in a tea plantation with the backdrop of the rainforest. So in regards to the setting and location, it is unbelievable. So there's nothing that you find like this properties in the world, and I can guarantee that. So the beautiful thing about these properties is, as well, it's an ultra luxury brand. So these properties are fully fledged resorts. So you have a club one that has a swimming pool, a heated swimming pool. You have a spa that offers massages. You have, and this is for your guests and even for yourself, we have the different room categories, but we have a suite that will actually have its own infinity pool, have a butler service 24 hours. If you want to have security, you can actually have them stay with you in your suite. So really, really indulgent. And the key thing for us, and perhaps Bruno will talk about it, is really getting to know the bride and what their needs are. That for us is incredibly important, and really making sure that we're customizing it to the actual client. So one of the things that we've found that we've been doing is we'll just talk about a couple that we had. So there's a couple that came here on holiday. They're from Abu Dhabi. Gentleman was German. His wife-to-be was Canadian, but Canadian African. So her dad was from Africa, came here on holiday. They loved it. And I was like, and I said to them, and they said to me, well, Bonita, we're actually looking for a venue for our wedding. I was like, why didn't you have it here? I'm like, we didn't think about it. I was like, let's do it. Let's organize it. And what we found is, of course, we had to sort of help them with the logistics of getting here. The beautiful thing about getting to Rwanda is you have all these flights that come into the destination, sort of in the region. It's quite easy to get from Kenya to come to Rwanda. There's a flight every day from Uganda as well. So in regards to the connectivity that we have on the continent in Africa, great connectivity. So it's quite easy for them. They connected from Dubai to here. And then in regards to actually getting married and the licenses. So I'm sure you all know that's one of the things when you are going to have a destination wedding, it's the marriage certificate, which is quite important. It is all the licenses and all the things that you need to get. So one of the things that we did do for them as well was get in touch with the embassy here. And, with RDB, the Rwanda Development Board, who helped us and it was seamless, and they managed to actually have their civil wedding here. So as a foreigner, you can have your civil wedding in Rwanda and you'll be able to get your certificates. So you can actually get married here. And then finding a pastor, so it's finding somebody to actually marry them, like a clergy, somebody from the church. So that was also quite easy. And we were able to get somebody that could come from church and have it on property. So they actually had it on the resort. So in terms of the actual facilities, as I said, most people when they're having an intimate wedding will also want to have a holiday. So that was quite key, that we made sure that they could go to the pool when they wanted to, and they could do all sorts of activities. The couple that we had that were really fun, they got a helicopter, so they flew in by helicopter, it was fantastic. So it was a really fantastic way to get in. But the key thing for them was their guests, as I said. So they wanted their guests to have absolute fun. So for each and every guest, we also organized activities that they could do on property. So if somebody wanted to go hiking or somebody wanted to go to the spa, so we had like itineraries for each and every guest that they had, which was quite nice, which they really enjoyed. So the stress of them having to think, what do our guests do? They're here for 3 nights. What do they do? We're like, no, we've got you sorted. We'll give them itineraries so they can actually do something while they're there. So that was quite nice. In regards to actually the meal preparation, so we actually had a session with the chef, the head chef who came out, the executive chef came out and spoke to them, asked them what they wanted to eat. So every single detail and every dream that they had, we were there to execute and make it come to life. So that was incredibly important. So every single person, from the resort manager to the waiter at the bar, to every single staff or colleague that I have on the property, was able to kind of chip in and do something very personalized for them. So if they know the groom likes a gin and tonic, they made a special gin and tonic, at the after party. So it was those little details that we made sure we sort of had a conversation with them and were able to get to make sure that their day was incredibly special and really memorable. So Bruno actually was usually does the decor for us, so perhaps he can speak about what he's done.
Yeah. So when Bonita approached me about this wedding, for me it was wow. It was almost like a dream come true for me, because the property is such a magical place, and having a wedding there was a dream for them, but for me too somehow. And I met the couple couple months before the wedding we had a discussion, like a conversation. I got to know their personalities, what they love, what luxury meant for them. And I think we all have different approach. Luxury means different things for different people. And they had like a vision, a clear vision of what they wanted to have. And they were wondering, so could we have that? It's like they wanted like a fire element at their wedding. And that wasn't the problem. We found a way to bring that fire element at the wedding, and they were very happy, very pleased. So it's those small things that you, by exchanging with them, that you kind of get, and you try to materialize their dream somehow.
Yeah.
And also do more than what they expect you to do. go the extra mile. I think that's one of the key elements. Also, suggest them things. Like, of course, they're having all their guests coming over to Rwanda, but we managed to get like custom-made baskets for each and every guest.
Gifts was important.
Yes.
It was gifts with a sense of place. We're in Rwanda. What can we give them that will mean something to them that's quite easy to travel back with? Because you don't want to give them a big painting that they can't carry with them. So it's just making sure we gave them the, something small.
Something small, something
a note from, and each note was personalized from the bride. And it was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And we sort of wrote it down with them and made sure they had it in their rooms. It was a nice surprise. It was just those little, as I said, incredibly important that it was personalized. They knew what they wanted, which was fantastic. They absolutely knew what they wanted and how they wanted to execute. And we were just making sure that their dreams come to life. But for people that don't even know what they want, I think we sort of sit down with them and give them sort of a mood board. This is what we can do for you. What would your guests like? Tell us about your guests. Tell us about your dads. And one thing that we did do, as I said, the girl, the bride was actually mixed Zimbabwean and Canadian. So then we wanted to make, and then even in our food, making sure that it wasn't too European, making sure that we had that African food that we're making for him specifically. So it's just a family style dinner, which he absolutely loved, and he felt that we had really thought about it. So it's those little things. It's just getting to know each and every one of your guests. And by the way, when we talk about stress, lack of stress, they had no stress whatsoever. Because from the moment that they started to plan the wedding, I told the couple, please put us in touch with each and every one of our guests. From now on, you no longer need to communicate with them. We'll get in touch with them. We'll talk to them. We'll plan the entire trip for them. So that was really helpful, and they had no stress whatsoever. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. And we'll be able to share maybe.
I'm listening, Bruno.
No, we'll be able to share a video to give you a snapshot of what that was.
The wedding.
Because when you discuss, of course, we all have, we can visualize different things, but this will also put images to what that experience was like. Yeah. And it's something you need something.
Yes. I'll give you a cue for to be played so that we're all, because you actually whet my appetite. And I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, wow, I'm now understanding what it means to do intimate luxury wedding. Because I'm just trying to figure out, if we had about 300, 400 people, how are we going to make them feel this comfortable and provide this experience for them? And so, and think about it, less stress, more fun, more results, but better experience. And I'm just thinking about it. Wow, this is really good. Let's go back to that case that we are looking at. How many guests were we looking at came for that particular wedding?
50.
That's even great. That's even great. I thought we were able to do customized everything for these 50 people.
Absolutely, yes. So they actually booked out the entire resort. So we had it completely for the guests. So we made sure we didn't have any other guests that were in there. It was just the wedding party that was at the property. So it literally felt like their home. Mm-hmm. So they'd wake up, walk from one room to the. It was just beautiful to watch and see. And I think you see
genuine. It was,
and I think you see that on the video as well. It's just those intimate moments that they had, and also with the supply. So we managed to, of course, make sure we had the right vendors, and we have some of those vendors here with us that have been on the East Africa Wedding Show, making sure that we had the right vendors that suited them and kind of understood. Even with the photographers, we were very specific. This is the sort of photography that they want. This is what they want you to capture. So we also sort of behind the scenes did the vetting for them for all the suppliers. The makeup artist, this is the sort of makeup that she wants. This is what she's used to. Can you provide A, B, C, D? So it's just making sure that we're providing them with the right vendors that actually suited their tastes as well. That's incredibly important.
Wow. So I'll come to the vendors just before we see the video. I'll come to the vendors. Now, what I'm thinking is that I didn't know we had all of this stuff in Africa yet. I'm sure that most people will be questioning, because for you to get excellent service like this, people will start thinking, let me go to the UAE. Africa wouldn't be able to provide all of this as a total experience. I get one bit of it in the safari, just a portion of it. But what you are telling me right now is a comprehensive, complete experience. And right here in Africa, I think it's something that is highly commendable. I commend you and your team. I think it's a great thing, and we need to really call out Africans to try and get some of these things because we have them here, but probably people do not know. Let me pause here, and then I think that I just can't wait to see the video.
I'll just add something, Mr. Pratt. That's such a good point that you have made. So as Africans, we do not travel on the continent. We do not want to spend our money on the continent. We are traveling to Dubai, as you said, Dubai, to Paris, to London, to Santorini. Guess what? Africa is the sexiest continent on the planet.
It is.
And we provide, I will speak in Rwanda, the rest of East Africa, the rest of Africa, you can get seamless service. We have these brands that do offer that. So we will cater to you and we'll go the extra mile. So from the moment you land at the airport, we have a meet and greet service that's going to pick you up. We've got the perfect car, the Land Cruiser, V8 that's going to pick you up. So from the moment you actually get into the destination, you're feeling like, wow, I'm in an incredible destination. I'm going to have an incredible wedding. So for us, it's important that you have a seamless experience from when you land to when you depart. Because it would be such a shame if you had a fabulous wedding and then, something terrible happened to you before you left the destination. So it's quite key. And I'm basically urging Africans to spend their money on the continent. We do have the services. We do have the once-in-a-lifetime experiences to offer. Guess what? All the international clients call us every single day wanting to come here because it's special. They don't want to go to Dubai. I mean, Dubai's been done. Dubai is like...
done, yeah.
People have been there. People have done it. Nobody wants to go to Paris. It's Africa where everybody wants to be. And it's sexy and it's now. And I think everybody should start looking at the continent for destination.
Bruno and Bonita, can we task the team, IK's event, and I know that you have a definite role to play. Can we task the team? I'm looking forward to a day where in 2 years, I mean, that's the reason why we have conversations like this. If I don't see the need for us to have conversations like this when we can make an impact. Can we draw an action plan where we task IK's events to frontline? Let's make it happen in Africa here, by Africa, especially for weddings. We need to start, raising our voices, collaborating with all stakeholders. If there's a need for them to reduce tariffs for people to do businesses across Africa so that we stay here, especially with weddings. We have a role to play. And I think that the East African Wedding Show team can frontline this. So,
definitely.
And Brenda, from Bruno and Bonita, we are tasking your team to lead a project like this. And we want to come back in 3 years' time all smiling and say, yes, 3 years ago, we decided to do this on this platform and it's happening. Do you agree with me?
Agreed, absolutely. 100%.
Challenge accepted.
All right, so challenge accepted. All right, so on that note, we'll just watch the video and then understand what Bruno and Bonita have been saying all this time. I've already had a mental picture of it. I want to see it live and colored, and so the video will be played very soon. So just as we are technically getting it sorted, I remember we are talking about intimate luxury weddings, and we want Africa to be the place to be. The conversation has started here on this platform, and let's challenge ourselves to make intimate luxury wedding destinations happening. This Africa should be the destination. It should be the destination of choice for most people whenever they are deciding that let's go and have our intimate luxury wedding. We have everything here. Come to think of it, we have the beautiful weather. We have amazing people. All you need in execution of some of these things usually is the stakeholders, and the major stakeholder in this case are the people. We have a beautiful culture. In Rwanda alone, I know you can talk about 1,001 cultures. Come to Ghana, is 1,001 as well. Go to Nigeria, millions blend of cultures, and this is happening in Africa here. So we need to make our place a good stay for destination weddings. So what do you think? Let me know what you think. You can put it in the discussion box. If you're watching me, yes, Carol is saying, yes, Africa is amazing. And Carol keeps commenting, say, wow. So let me see your comments on the Discuss platform. So can we have Bonita and Bruno back? We were having a very great conversation, and we have tasked the East African Wedding Show team to lead a project. Find a name for the good project, and the objective of the project is to drive attention to beautiful destinations that we have here in Africa. so that we can do in Ghana, for instance, they typically opened a safari resort is huge, very huge. And you can completely be there for like a month and you never feel bored. There are so many things that is happening here, not only in Ghana. There are places. Let's empower our destination. One&Only, yeah, One&Only. Oh yeah, exactly. I've seen you in One&Only. She says, let's empower our destination. And I know you come on board, one for you with great stuff. So let us take that responsibility. This is our place.
Okay, we're back.
You're back. Great. I was missing you guys.
Hello?
So is the video ready now?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still here on stage and we are getting the video ready and sorted. And I like the direction with which our conversation has taken, the virtual East African wedding show. Some of us as vendors will pledge to support Made in Africa for Africa by Africa. It should be for us. Let us patronize. We can start a campaign, get government agencies involved, get stakeholders involved, get the people involved. Let us buy what we have. So if I'm in Ghana, let me go and buy what More For You has done. If I'm in Rwanda, let me go to Tunisia for a destination wedding. If I'm in Zambia, let me carry all of my 20 guests, 30 guests, family people, and come to Rwanda for a total intimate wedding experience. This is what we have, so that we can have our currency circulating within, create more jobs for people. Kitli Vinay is saying Africa is wonderful and amazing destination of honeymooners. Thank you very much. So not only honeymoon, but it is also necessary or essential to have a total experience. Birthday celebrations. You can have a destination birthday celebration, and a whole lot of things can happen in Africa. This is a beautiful, big continent. I've had the opportunity to travel both northeast, southern part of Africa, and I must tell you, the variation in our cultures, the love from people is something that you will not get it elsewhere. And those things, you can't put value or cash on it. It's priceless.
Okay, we're back.
Are we good now?
Yeah.
All right, great.
So, can you see us?
Yes, I can see the screen now. But we cannot hear, we cannot get a sound.
Okay. Wow.
It was fine. It's just.
All right, so the video actually appeared.
Ooh.
Just go back. Go back to the video. 1 second.
That's all right. So let me read the comments coming in the discuss section. Also, excellent destination for amazing safaris in entire East Africa. Very vast national parks and wonderful hotels to stay. For sure, clients will not forget Africa once they visit. I mean, a lot of my friends outside the continent, whenever I host them in Ghana, they tell me Ghana is an experience. Africa is a great place to be. Last year in Ghana alone, let me probably give you a pictorial analysis. In Ghana alone, we started a project called Year of Return. I think last year was exactly 200 years that slave trade started in Ghana here, 200 years. So we did a Year of Return to invite all Africans in the diaspora to come to this country and then have a connection with the ancestral lineage, connect wealth with people back here, and it opened up. And trust me, the income flow, the amount of revenue that this project contributed to Ghana's GDP last year alone was amazing. It was huge impact. And so the fact that there was money circulating everywhere, there were more jobs created, there were more people selling, there were more people trading their businesses. People had to negotiate and then build better relationships because we had over 2 million guests coming to Ghana.
Okay, now we're getting there.
We're getting there. All right, so somebody's also asking me, what luxury options do you have in Ghana? All right, I'll attempt to answer that question from the perspective of,
Okay.
all right, are we good? So I think we lost them. So we are gradually getting there, getting used to the virtual platform. And so Carol is asking, what luxury options do you have in Ghana? There are a lot of interesting places to go. Like I did mention, we've opened a safari resort, which is huge. It's like 4 or 5 hotels put together as one. It's a whole city of its own. It's huge, and it was just opened last month. And also, we also have the Zena Lodge, which is up there in the northern region, where the lodge is actually based within the savannah. So where the animals live, that is where you live with them. So all of the hippos and everything, you are in the center of it, or you wake up at the balcony and you have a view of. Sometimes you wake up in the balcony and you could see a giraffe walking around your balcony, and it's a beautiful view. But don't worry, don't be scared. You are well protected. It's a beautiful view we do have in Ghana as well, and as well as other places. On top of my head, there are a lot of luxury offerings over here, and it's a great experience to be here. So Uber Lux Safaris is specialists in arranging luxury safaris in the entire East Africa with amazing. So people should connect to you as well. Thank you very much. So you see, people are easily selling their businesses on the Discuss platform. They didn't pay for it, but they are, and that's the point of being part of this. So you can also sell yourself here on this platform. Don't worry. As a live mention, I'll do for you whilst we are here. So this is the East African Wedding Show. Let's get talking on social media. Let's get talking on social media. I want you to probably take a video of yourself watching this session, post it on Instagram, hashtag East African Wedding Show, East African Brides. Make sure that we get talking. People should know about what we are doing currently. People should understand and be connected, have an experience. So I'm still waiting for Bonita and Bruno to join us, and we are talking about wedding destination, luxury wedding destination, as a major contributor to our economy. That's not the topic we are talking about. This just came up as an action plan that we all have a role to play. So you may not be a vendor here, but you are a participant watching. It is important. Now start thinking that cousin who told you that we want to have a destination wedding in Dubai, in here, in there about. Please bear in mind, we equally have better, more conducive, cost-effective platforms or regions in Africa here. So start exploring, speak to the professionals. They will show you when and where to go to. You cut down your cost, less stressful, you get a better experience, and it's much more natural because, this is Africa. We have everything here. Are we good?
Yes. Okay. Yes, present.
Okay, so
Yeah, here. Allow.
So where do I click here?
Where is it? No, you open. No, you just have to open it where it is, the folder.
One sec.
That's okay. We can still see your screen, so you probably have to play the video.
You can still see the screen?
Yes, Skype for
okay.
Play the video. That's what.
Can you see it?
No, unfortunately, we can't see it.
It's fine. We can share it with them. It's fine.
Okay.
Can you share with me?
Yeah, so we will share the link with you.
All right, share the link with me.
Okay. And then I think that'll be much easier.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll just
share the link with me. So they're sharing the link.
Okay. Great.
You can. Okay, so would you want to share which platform? Would you want to share that?
Actually, if you want, hold on 1 second. Just 1 second, yeah?
That's all right. That's all right. So whilst you're sorting out with this, there's still more questions for you. Bruno, you take this
Oh,
from me whilst
Yes.
you're sorting, while she's sorting this. So how do you source the vendors to meet up with the demand of the couple, especially when they want to have an intimate? So typically, we are looking at the case that we're discussing. How did you go about making sure the MC? I'm definitely, I'm very sure that you had to source it locally. We'll meet up with their demand. If there's a need, the client says, I have my makeup artist and I'm flying my makeup artist from here. How do you collaborate and work with all the vendors?
Well, I think One and Only has been helping a lot with that most of the part, like the DJ, the makeup artist, and I try to focus more on the aesthetics of the weddings, the presentation. First, we started with the mood boards. First of all, so creating an ambience, having a storyline. Once they have chosen what kind of flowers, what kind of location, what kind of mood they wanted, for me it gives me a clear picture of what I have to do.
yeah.
And then from there on, we start contacting different people. If I have a person who's going to bring in maybe in dancers, because one of the requests was having traditional dancers with the drummers dressed in a certain way, then we make it happen. If it's about a certain gift, we collaborated with Talking Through Art. It's a small, not a company, but they do make weave basket, like small personalized gift, and we're able to create something unique with them. So we associate other partners into the whole process. So it's not just us. I think there's like a whole team, a bunch of people behind that also have to coordinate and make sure that we deliver on time and we hit the goal.
Bonita, do you have anything to say about that? We're expect to sourcing vendors to meet the tailored needs of the client.
Yeah, I think that's something that we're certainly involved in, I think, right from the start. And as I said, the key thing is to make sure our clients are not stressed whatsoever. So I actually take charge of that. So I meet with the vendors, I'm making sure I'm vetting them. And the key thing, of course, is your experience. How much experience do you have in the industry? The quality, let's say, if it's, even with Bruno, I mean, we've worked together for some time. So I'm quite confident with Bruno because not only has he done weddings at our properties, but he's also done, when it comes to our festive season, our Christmas and our New Year's, he's been able to deliver. So in regards to suppliers and vendors, I will certainly recommend or will usually select. And one thing that we can do, even if the bride is here, we can actually go to the vendors ourselves and kind of pick, the vendor that actually, or supplier that actually works for them. But it's important that we're vetting them and making sure that we know who they are. We would never recommend people that, and sometimes, of course, you do give a chance to people that are up and coming, which is quite nice, but it's important to make sure that the person that you're working with has the experience and is able to provide the service that is expected from us. So we're very involved in the whole vetting session of the suppliers.
Yes, we also have like backups in case something is not doesn't go as planned, and there's always it will look seamless. So our goal is to anticipate each and everything, have a plan B for each or whatever plan C for each and every at every step. So we never get caught by surprise.
You never get caught by surprise, but on this platform, I'm going to catch you guys on a surprise and on this platform. So, I mean, you're going to take us through during the luxury weddings. I know Bonita's looking at me like, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? And during any of your intimate weddings, I know they do a couple of dances by special request, not from me. Asked to play a particular song, which is very popular. We played at weddings, and the two of you should nominate. One person should decide to do it. How they do that dance at that wedding, the intimate luxury wedding. I think it will be fair for Bonita to go, and then Bruno, you follow. Or any one of you can choose to follow. It's fine. They are about
It's not like that.
Bonita, it's not me.
It was an eternal dance.
Bruno's volunteered. Go on, Bruno.
Yeah.
Celebrate good times, come on.
Hey.
It's all about celebration.
It's all about celebrating. Let's go. Come on. Hey. Bonita goes first.
You do this all the time.
Oh my God.
We are certainly having a good time with you guys.
We remember.
Yeah, exactly. We're having a great time with you guys, and trust me, I told you, my beautiful audience, that these two, when they come on board, we are not done. We can talk for 5 hours because the quantum of knowledge here in their heads is explosive, and then when they start, it's too much. Now, somebody's asking. Let me mention. I'm going back to the discussion box. What sort of budget? Carol is asking. What sort of budget are we talking about for luxury weddings?
What sort of budget?
Exactly. The person wants to know averagely, probably in USD or any currency.
I mean, we'll have to discuss that offline because I think, as I said, the key thing is really what your expectations are. You know what I mean? I think that's incredibly important. And sort of if you want some more personalized gifts and that sort of thing, or even with, the type of dining and the food and beverage that you want to offer.
The wine.
If you want to offer specific wine that you like from South Africa to Italy, I think it really is a discussion that would have to have offline, and that way we can sort of talk through what you feel and what you want.
Or the flowers that you want. Some
Exactly.
people want roses or it's overrated. They might want orchids, proteas. We'll go the extra mile. We'll make that happen.
So it really depends. And we work within budgets, and that's important. And the beautiful thing, I must say one thing as well, the beautiful thing about getting married at an exotic resort, because you don't have to do very much. Mm-hmm. I feel it's very, it's still quite special because you have the nature, you have the greenery, and you want the intimate. And that's really, I think it's quite simple and minimalist. So you find that you won't be spending as much as you would on a big grand wedding.
Without mentioning the professionalism of the staff, my God, they make it such a great experience. I mean, these are people who are masters at what they do, and it's just it creates something unique, almost unforgettable.
Unforgettable is the key word. Now, I want us to talk about two things before we sign off. First has got to do with trends. Can you expose us to some trends of intimate luxury weddings?
Okay. I think we could talk about the decor first. And what are you saying people wanting with decor?
Yeah, exactly. What are people asking?
Well, some people might want to be, let's say, change the location. Let's say, when I look at the properties, like Gorilla is a new property. What would be interesting is like having your ceremony outdoor. Like they have such an amazing scenery, like the woods. It's so beautiful, and you can convey all the guests in that location.
Yeah.
And there are so many possibilities that at each property it has like unique places, unique spots that will create that will bring the magic to the wedding.
Yeah.
So you don't even have just one location. There are so many. Like even the wedding, when it starts like at one spot, and then we move on to another location. Like at the end of the day, you have done maybe 4 or 5 different locations on the same site. So that also keeps on getting people caught by surprise, and So one thing I always tell people is like, just let your mind go. Think outside the box. Think whatever you want it, we'll make it happen. If you want it to be like an enchanted forest,
yes,
we'll go there.
That's actually a huge trend.
Yes.
And
so
that's a huge trend is nature, outdoors. I think what you're finding is people kind of, is it intertwining with nature? I think that's really what people want.
So you don't know what's in, what's out. Everyone is... I'll give you an example. Last year I saw a couple that got married in Masai Mara. And the witnesses were two Masai. And the scenery was the savannah. It was so beautiful. So that's how you manage to create unique things. And in Rwanda here, we do have those, especially the one-and-only properties. My God, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, so it's very minimalistic. So that's one key thing that you find. It's very minimalistic. It's very nature, I think, based, nature inspired. So I think that's one thing that you find. Lots of woods, lots of greenery.
Yes.
Even with the flowers, people aren't really going over the top. I think they're going for simpler.
For simple. It's subtle luxury. Subtle is the key.
Yeah, subtle luxury.
Because the property is already beautiful in itself. You don't have to overdo it, go over the top. I think it's making the proper selections, like choosing the best object, the right flowers, and let the whole go with the flow.
Wow. So much more of it what to do with nature, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Nature, minimalistic, outdoors. Outdoors. People want, even with the resorts that have an incredible dining room inside, they still want to have it outdoors. Key thing, as you said, is the view. The view, the location. That's what people want in their photographs, and that's what people want to remember.
Everywhere you look, there is that photo shoot. I mean, each photo from the weddings or for all the events that have been hosted there so far is breathtaking.
So the pictures give a deeper reflection and of personality and everything that they ever want. Is that it?
Yeah.
And also, what I love about the two properties, you feel like you're in a bubble. You're like awake, disconnected from everything.
Yeah, disconnection. That's quite key. I'm not at a hotel in Dubai that has 1,000 rooms. I will not go downstairs and there'll be 1,000 people at breakfast. It's literally just you and your friends at the resort. Isn't that special? Just having an entire hotel with just your guests, because we only have 21 rooms. It's just incredibly special. You can't buy that anywhere.
It's home away from home.
Exactly.
And I mean, there are a lot of things you can actually do. And usually, how many days do people come for?
3 days minimum. So 3 days is minimum. Yeah, and then kind of stay on for a holiday. So about 6 nights in total.
6 nights in total. I mean, it's good. And I know that there will be good value for money once you're able to do that. So I think that is something that I would encourage lots of people to actually make sure it's actually one and only, right? One and only.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the name, One and Only. That the name itself sounds great.
You can't find it anywhere else.
You can't find it anywhere else. Now let's now talk about the future. What do you think? I've been thinking. Okay, so we've started this conversation about intimate weddings. We've managed to get people involved more when it comes to intimate weddings. What do you think is the future for intimate weddings? I want you to share with us.
I think I'll start by saying the future is Africa. I think if you're not getting married on the continent, last season, new season, what's new, what's sexy is the continent. So it's important that people sort of get their minds round getting married on the continent. I can speak because I'm East African, so I can speak on East Africa. East Africa is an incredible place, and I'm sure Mr. Pagana is also beautiful. But, with East Africa, we just have, in regards to, from your savannah, the topography is just so beautiful. Like in Rwanda itself, we have from volcanoes to a savannah in a very small country. You're able to sort of experience absolutely everything: rainforest, volcanoes, savannah, where you can actually see the big five. So it's just something that, and Rwanda, I must say, as a destination, is a standalone destination. When you do come here, you don't have to go anywhere else, because we have everything in a very small country with infrastructure that's really great. So to get from one place to the other, 2.5 hour drive, so it's quite easy to get from one place to the other. I'm sure as a destination, it's incredibly safe. Top 10 safest countries in the world. I think number 1 safest country in Africa. In regards to, and I'll even talk about post-COVID. I think one thing that's important to note is we went into full lockdown immediately in March. So as soon as we had about the pandemic, we kind of went into post-lockdown. And guess what? Our numbers have been incredibly low. And for us, that's such a huge thing. So people want to come to the destination because the numbers are low. They know that, they'll be safe, they'll be secure, they'll be healthy. And in terms of adhering to, policies and all sorts of things, at the hotels, you find that, the procedures that we're now taking as hotels is making sure our staff educated on COVID, making sure that, and they have a morning meeting every day to talk about, if you do see a guest that doesn't feel well, this is what you do. And in regards to from the moment you arrive in Rwanda, the meet and greet service to the designated hotel that you will stay in order for you to get your second test, because before you actually arrive, you've got to do a test 120 hours prior to arrival. Then when you do come to the destination, you still have to do another test. So in terms of the destination, it's safe, it's secure, and then the resorts actually making sure that they're complying to what World Health Organization and UNWTO wants us to do. So those are the things that we are doing. But the key thing is we're still making sure that although we're adhering to those policies, making sure that you're still not losing that intimacy, you're still not losing that beauty. Because you don't want to go to a hotel and, you see people sanitizing everywhere and all sorts of things. I think that could kind of put people off. But the beautiful thing of our hotels, and I'll speak for our hotels, is each and every sort of room is an actual villa. So you have your very own villa that's a standalone, and you can eat at any part of the resort. You can eat by the pool, you can eat at a restaurant. So it's just, you still get that intimacy of being on your own, and without feeling like there are lots of people on the property. So, which is quite key. But yeah, so the future is basically Africa, Rwanda, is intimate weddings, is I think personalization, exactly. Definitely. I think the key thing for people is, and people don't want to blow their entire savings on a wedding. I think that's important too. And I think, I think our generation is quite savvy and they don't want to spend all their money on a wedding. I think those days are kind of gone now. You still have to kind of buy a house and all sorts of things. So this is why people are opting for that intimate wedding, and also making sure they are, spending that quality time. So the quality time, the quality experience is incredibly important. So those are key things that you find moving forward.
Yes. One thing I would like to add is that I think Africa in general, we were late a bit at the luxury game. So we were, for a long time, we're looking towards Europe, towards Asia as the people who are defining what luxury is. Yeah. And right now, I think we have a great opportunity to showcase what we have. Whether it's hospitality or arts and craft or luxury in general, we have to learn to define our own, what we think is luxury for us.
Very good point.
And in that case, we have a lot to share to the world.
Yeah.
And what's going to be amazing is that for every year, we have something new. Every year, there's new property coming up, or there's a new location, there's a new product, new projects, new possibilities that are opening up. So we're going to be seeing more and more destination wedding, intimate weddings. So intimate doesn't necessarily mean expensive. We can also have intimate in a different location, but the approach is going to be more or less the same. But you still have the same experience.
And don't get me wrong, if you still do want to spend, if you still want to go all out and spend, then you can do your helicopter safari if you'd like. If you land in a helicopter, you could do your hot air balloon. So on the continent, we have all these incredible experiences that we offer that you find nowhere else in the world. I mean, the topography. Think of you sitting or landing at a luxury resort on a helicopter, sort of riding over the 1,000 hills of Rwanda, landing, by the rainforest, it's just beautiful. Yes. There's nowhere else in this world that you find it.
And one thing I'd like to add on this is that we have so much, the nature is so intense here. You don't have to necessarily go with flowers. You can go creative. You can go wild. Use the greenery you have around you, and you can create beautiful things that you have never seen anywhere else here. Yeah. And they're still going to be amazing.
Yeah. A key thing to add is intimate luxury weddings are really, it's been a trend for the last 10 years. We think that it's definitely going to stay. We think people are very conscious of, how much money they are spending. And here you are spending much less, but getting such a quality, unforgettable, memorable wedding that you always remember for the rest of your life, and all your friends will remember as well. So which is quite key.
So worth it.
Experience. I think that's the key word, experience, rather than glamour in a wedding. Yeah. Yes.
And so that answers the question from... Vanessa was asking, what kind of activities can one do while you're there? So I think that you've answered that question. And someone is also asking, Doris Silva is asking, what can you tell us about destination weddings in Zanzibar? I think it's The person wants to know that's if you have any information in regards to destination weddings in Zanzibar.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Zanzibar. Zanzibar is stunning. I think Zanzibar is also, as you said, quite an exclusive island. I think you do have the properties that could certainly, for your intimate weddings, they could certainly offer that. I know off the top of my head, your Breezes brand, the Baraza hotels, they offer, your intimate weddings. So you do have your smaller properties that, have 20 rooms or 12 rooms that you can have a small wedding. I think in regards to pictures, photos, I mean, it's stunning. You have white sands and incredibly blue waters. So, yeah. So I definitely think as a destination, it's one of the destinations that we can offer.
Yeah. And it also has to do with the structure of the properties. I think sometimes destination wedding mostly works in small structures rather than big properties.
Okay.
Right.
And one more question. Apart from Zanzibar, are there other luxury places in East Africa you know of that you would recommend or suggest to people?
Well, we said Rwanda. Where we are. So I think that is the number one destination on the list, definitely. I think what we offer is incredibly unique. The beautiful thing about Rwanda is we have, as I said, in one destination, you can go to the lake, you can go on a safari, you can go to the volcanoes, you can go to the rainforest. So I think for me, top on the list, I'm not saying that because I'm Rwandan. I think as a destination, we have so much to offer in a very small
area. You don't have to travel like 5 days, 5 hours.
Yeah. And I certainly feel with other destinations, you've got to get, you do land in the city and you've still got to get another flight to go to the beach or the island. Yeah. Whereas with here, it's quite easy to travel in the destination. So Rwanda is definitely should be top on your list.
All right, so Rwanda should be the top of the place. I'm still trying to get the video to play. Let me try from my end here because people need to see.
Okay.
So I'm trying it from my end here. If it's possible, then we
sent a video of the property.
Are you able to see? Confirm if you can see my.
Yes.
Is that a video?
Yeah. Yes.
So should I play? Let me proceed to play from my end here. That's a video, right?
Yes.
But I need to use our email address. But it's not with Brenda.
I think it's frozen. Is it frozen? All right, so I was getting a feedback that you couldn't see. I'm just still trying to see if I could. Can you see me?
Hold on, wait. We can't. Not yet.
Oh, now I can see you.
Great. I still want to try the video again. So I'm playing it again because we need to see this. We need to see the match talked about one and only. You can see my screen now.
Yes, we can. Yes.
So these are technical issues likely to happen, but that's okay. I'm still trying to figure out a way how to play this. Can you see me?
We can't see you. Your camera's off.
Yeah.
But we could always send that YouTube link, I believe, to everybody and they could have a look. What do you think?
We can arrange a session tomorrow and then diffuse the video.
All right, so I'm back on. So I'm going to try one more.
I love Bruno. Because, does it not end today? Tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, who's logging in tomorrow?
So, can you see my screen now?
I'm already out.
Wait, it's just
Hello, Brenda.
Yes,
Sorry,
we
Bonita.
can. We can see it. Yes, perfect. Yes, we can see it. Perfect. It works.
Wow, so that's it. One and only. One and only. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think.
Maybe before we might try to give it another attempt and try to maybe to show you some pictures from the wedding if we can't play the video. Let's try it and see if it works out. Yeah. So yeah, I have to open allow. Can you see our screen?
Yes, we can see your screen, but you are okay. We can see your screen.
Okay. How about now?
Yeah, we can see. So you can maximize it.
All right.
But it's frozen. Okay, it's better. Perfect.
Okay. just to give you a snapshot, unfortunately, we were unable able to play the video.
Okay. So we see one image, flowers in a vase. Yeah. Hello, Bruno. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you see the
Yeah.
photos?
Yeah, I can see. We can see only one photo. It's not showing no
Oh,
movies.
it's playing.
It's playing.
Hold on, you've got to click.
Oh,
Can you see now?
So
nope.
can you see them?
It's just one photo
Oh,
that's showing.
all right.
Okay, just click, I guess.
All right. Let me.
Click. Keep clicking it. Can you see that? Is it changing?
Unfortunately, not. Just
Okay.
one
Okay.
photo.
Let me try something new, something else.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
How about this?
so
Like this? You see?
yes, this is better. We are seeing it. So
Okay.
what's this? Is that like a basket?
So yeah, these are some of the intimate, like some of the details from the wedding.
Wow.
I have put aside.
Do you see the next photo?
No. So minimize the window and let's use what you
Okay.
have.
All right.
Okay. So
So
I
now you see.
photo.
Now you see the other picture.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Yes. Okay. Now we'll do it that way. Yeah. So this is yeah. It is what.
Okay. Lovely shoes. Mm. I like the leaf with the rings. Mhm.
It's a tea leaf from the property.
Oh, wow, this is nice. Now that's what we're talking about. Intimate luxury wedding.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's the backdrop of the rainforest.
Ah, ooh.
Are you still able to see them?
Yeah, I'm able to see them.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
Oh, I like the background of the rainforest.
Yeah, the rainforest is stunning. And as you can see, you don't really have to do much.
Flowers. Oh, that's some good view.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the sort of pictures that you get? Even the humidity will bring out the quality pictures. That's nice.
yeah. So those are just a few of the selection.
So where can
Can
we
we try
find you? When
again?
people want to find you,
Huh?
Sorry?
where can we find you? The website, Instagram page. People
Oh
want
no,
to follow
yeah, we'll
up.
share
Where
the
do we
links
find
with you
you?
so you're able to have a look.
So where's the photo?
But you can check on for the resorts it's www.oneandonlyresorts.com where you'll be able to find photos of the properties.
Can you see it?
Video.
Yeah. Yes.
You can?
You can?
Yeah, we are seeing it. I can see it.
Fabulous. This is the wedding. This is the wedding.
Oh, but we are missing out on sound. Unfortunately, we are missing out on sound, but we are enjoying the video though. Wow. Wow, that was really something very nice. So you now understand what it means to do an intimate luxury wedding. Bruno Bonita, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. Will you guys come back so that we wrap up for this section? We've done almost 2 hours having this conversation. That means that it really means a lot to us. Craving, redefining the future of Africa, telling the whole world that we truly have nice, very nice things on this part of the continent, and there's no better place to be. But no better place to have your intimate luxury wedding experience. We're starting from Rwanda, one and only resort. So www.oneandonelyresort.com. Thank you so much, guys. Bruno Bonita, can we have you on back? I mean, live back on stage, not backstage, back on stage. Can we have you live so that we can just wrap up your final words? All right, great.
Oh, we're back. So were you able to see the video?
Yeah, I saw the video, but we lost out on the sound. It was breaking, but we could pick. I mean, we could pick the emotions and the expressions. I like the part where the groom was like, "That is mine," you know.
Yeah.
that kind of feeling.
We'll try to find a way to share
it. Yeah,
that's all right. That's all right. That's fine. But I'm sure people got the message very well, loud and clear. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to www.oneandonlyresort.com, right? Oneandonlyresort.com. And then we've been talking to Bruno, Bonita. Let me be very honest with you. I had some objectives or anticipation for this conversation, and I was hoping that at the end of our conversation, I'll be more enlightened, get to appreciate luxury weddings the more. I'm a vendor. I'm an MC. I'm used to 400, 500, 600, 700 people. I recently got used to the 50, 60. So I was trying to figure out how these things will work. But trust me, you've opened my mind to appreciate luxury wedding and the need to build intimate moments. And I've already started thinking, what kind of concepts can I build to create most intimate moment whenever I'm moderating events like that? And like I said, it's not only the participants that are learning. We as vendors, we're also learning from people who have experience in your fields like that. Thank you so much, Bruno Dushime. Thank you so much. It's quite unfortunate that COVID, but we will meet. Bonita Mutoni, she came to Ghana and I never saw Bonita. Bonita and I never saw Bonita. But I know that we'll get to meet again. We'll get to meet again. So what I'd like you to do will be your final words to people who would like to hear from you, and then we'll sign off.
So I think we'll just reiterate what we were saying earlier. Intimate weddings are in. Intimate weddings are these are the trends, and this is what everybody wants to do now. And you can have that super exclusive, ultra luxurious wedding without actually breaking the bank, which is quite important, especially during COVID times. People sort of holding on and being really cautious about how they're spending, but you still can get that special wedding that will be memorable and unforgettable for the rest of your guests and for yourself, and also combine it with a holiday and not have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. And as a destination, Rwanda is the destination that you actually want to visit and have your wedding in. And I'll certainly talk about One&Only Resorts. I think as a brand, it's an internationally recognized ultra luxury brand, and I think not for a brand like that to actually have 2 properties in Rwanda says something about the destination. And so I certainly feel that if you want to book or if you want to plan your wedding, please feel free to contact me. I'll share my details. But you can always have a look at the One&Only website, oneandonlyresorts.com. And I've worked with Bruno for quite some time, and he gets it. He understands that you could see the beautiful wedding that he curated for that couple who were incredibly happy with their experience in Rwanda. And I must say, they weren't Rwandan, but picked the destination and absolutely loved it. So that goes to say so much about, the destination and the location and how beautiful it was. Bruno perhaps will say something in regards to, decorating and what you see the trends are in the next couple of years. But I think the key things that we talked about were, nature and
outdoors, sharing,
and,
bonding.
family style
experience.
Family style experiences. And the key thing is what is experience. You want to come to a destination where you can still have a great wedding, but have your guests also do your incredible activities like your safari, your trekking, your hiking, enjoy the spa, lay by the pool. So quite a few activities that you can do as well at a wedding.
Yes.
All right.
Something I'd like just to share is for all couples who are interested in destination weddings, they should think of it plan ahead. They can get in touch with us so we can help them guide. We can guide them through the whole process. We've done it before, and they shouldn't be afraid of diving into the unknown. We'll be there to guide them along the way, advise them, and then make sure that they have the most incredible wedding, the most incredible experience with their friends and family. Yeah, so do not hesitate to send us a link or an email or get in contact with us so we can share
information with
the details. And we can start already help them planning and show them what all the possibilities are that we have to offer.
All right, I look forward to as well. Thank you very much, Bruno, Bonita. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. 2 hours of
thank you, Mr. Pratt.
We're not done. You can't leave me like this. We're just signing off. But ladies and gentlemen, in an hour's time, we'll be having Aisha, and then we'll be talking about let's make sense together. Let's talk finance. It's been one of the issues and I particularly like the fact that Bruno and Bonita said, start planning early. So let's put this into financial perspective so that you can save appropriately, because I want to come to One and Only. And I'm telling you that I'm going to make a lot of noise in Ghana here and tell them, listen, go to Rwanda.
Fantastic.
And because I believe in what we have in Africa, and let's support what we have. So thank you very much, Bruno. Thank you so much as well. We are wrapping up.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
So much pressure.
The third one?
This is the third one.
We're wedding organizers, not dancers.
I know. But then dance is part of what we have in Africa. It's an integral part of us.
African music would have been great. Some African music would have got us into the mood. Then
Okay. That's true. That's very true. All right, so we do this.
Oh my God. You read my mind.
I read your mind. All right.
So do you want to
Let's do it.
I'll let Bonita share. Please school us.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Well, thank you very much.
And we look forward to seeing you next year with even greater concept, better ideas, and new people. I hope with this time it's going to be physical. Well, at the venue.
Yes, it will be next year.
So let's make it big.
I'm looking forward to even hosting a wedding in One and Only. So it will come even before the East African Wedding Show next year.
Fabulous.
So I'm sure we'll.
All right.
Excellent.
Cheers. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, and great seeing
Cheers.
you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. All right, bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Bonita and Bruno. We're about to. We have an hour before we take our final session with Aisha, making sense together. Financial planning is very essential, very key. So within this hour, from now to 1 hour, let's stretch a little bit. We have a long day. Pull up a little bit, stretch a little bit, your neck, and all of that. And then you can go to the booth. There are exhibitors out there, vendors out there inside the booth. Go to the booth and speak to somebody. Book shadow, book, speak to somebody, get to know what's happening. There are various vendors. More for You was here earlier. Lily's Blossom, they always have One and Only Resorts. They all have a booth if you want. It's a one-on-one session with them. So feel free and make sure you hop in right there and then ask all of your questions you want to do so. And let's get ready to discuss with Aisha making sense together. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mr. Pratt. You can find me on Instagram as Mr. Pratt, MYSTERPRATT. You can also go to Instagram and follow East African Wedding Show at East African Wedding Show at East African Brides. So follow these three pages, and you can follow Aline's page, my co-host as well, Aline Gahongayire. You can follow her page as well. Let's support her on. Thank you very much. I'll see you very soon. Let's prepare for the next session. Thank you.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, sumangishilana. Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, sumangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana, ilondoloze